Now it's time for Fantasy Fanatics.
Welcome into Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And we had a big day.
Yes, we did.
A big night, I should say, of Thursday night football last night.
Blowout football.
Right. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, wow, that was crazy.
Before we get to that, later on the show, we will do our matchups, and we'll also have our pitching matchups as well as our football matchups.
Yes, we will have our baseball and basketball stuff in our second hour. Our first hour is dedicated to fantasy football because that is the most important thing going on right now, especially fantasy-wise, of course. And you can follow us on Twitter before we go anywhere, at Ryan Stuprich for me.
Or at Freeman Radio for me.
Yes, and Ryan Risky should be joining the show next week, hopefully, and you can follow him at rrisky16. He'll be our sports knowledge expert, I guess you could say. I mean, he knows a lot about everything sports-related. But let's get into that game from Thursday night.
Thursday Fantasy Recap.
Yes, that is the Thursday Fantasy Recap production that we put into it. But, it was a really one-sided game, obviously, as the Tampa Bay got destroyed by the Falcons 56-14. But it was 56-0 going into the fourth quarter, and I was thinking we could see some history.
Yes. One, I was thinking blowout until they took out their starters.
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh, Devin Hester!
I know. How about Hester, huh? The former Chicago Bear is leading, and now he's the all-time leader in both punt and kick returns, and also in each category he also leads in punt returns and kick returns now. So it's pretty exciting for him. It kind of sucks that he didn't get it with the Bears. I know Bears fans probably are upset about that. I'm not too upset about it because, I mean, he had a couple good years with the Bears, and that's when he had most of his runbacks and most of his punt returns and everything. But there was a lot of times where he was very frustrating, where he would only get 10 yards on a return.
Yes.
So I wasn't mad when he left necessarily, but I was kind of upset to see him get the record with somebody other than the Bears. Because, I mean, when you think of Devin Hester, you think about the return he had in the Super Bowl to start the game.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. But Matt Ryan had a really good game too, which it didn't surprise me, but Matt Ryan has had 3 really good weeks now in football, and they had an awful season last year.
And it's not like Matt Ryan had to try that hard.
Right.
I mean, he did go 21 of 24 for 3 touchdowns, 286 yards. Yeah,
and that's that, and it was pretty easy to do against the Tampa Bay defense, that's for sure. And, it also sucks because Lovie Smith, he was there, the former Bears coach. He is supposed to be a defensive guru when it comes to stuff like that, but they could not stop Atlanta for anything.
And also, the running game wasn't really much of anything, but 3 different running backs had touchdowns. Well, Devin Hester's not a running back, but,
wide receiver, but
he had one
I was
carry,
surprised
20
he did
yards
so
and a
well.
touchdown. Yeah. Wide receiving, Hester wasn't even... He got 1 catch for 25 yards, so...
Yeah, so I was surprised at how well that he's done in the wide receiving role this year, too. He hasn't done bad at all. He had a really good week 1, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Where he had a touchdown or 2, and
99 receiving yards.
99 receiving yards, that's right, yeah.
And then Weems, is Weems an ex-Bear?
If it's Eric Weems, then
yes,
it is.
Eric Weems for Atlanta. He went 4 receptions, 69 yards.
Yeah, and then on the other side with Tampa Bay, you had Josh McCown, who clearly showed that he can't be good unless he's throwing to the best wide receivers in the game, which Tampa Bay does not have.
Well, he doesn't know the Tampa Bay defense or offense like he knew the
Bears offense, right? And I think having a guy like Mark Trestman, who really is like a quarterback, he's sort of an expert with quarterbacks, as a lot of people say. So he really helped Josh McCown, too. But, yeah, did Josh McCown starting for Tampa Bay? I don't know if that was the right move going into it, but I didn't know what other option they have, I guess.
Well, Glennon didn't do bad. 17 of 24, 120 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions.
Right.
He was averaging only 5 yards per throw, though.
Now, he came in the end of the third or the
McCown injured
fourth
his
quarter?
hand when they sacked the poo out of him.
Right.
Twice in a row.
Yeah,
I believe.
that they did. Yeah.
He got the ball off the second time, so that's not a sack. But he got sacked, and then right after that, he got hit while throwing.
They also had an issue where the center snapped the ball and it just went completely over Josh McCown's head.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was sort of reminiscent of the Super Bowl with the Broncos and Seahawks, where I mean that's like the most basic thing that you should learn, especially when you're a center. Your one job, well, you technically have two jobs, but your one job is to snap the ball. The second job is to run into the defender right in front of you.
And regretfully, I was one of those morons that started Bobby Rainey. That's
Uh-oh.
quite a hindsight, but
That's not good. How's your projected total looking
at
now?
halftime he had -2. So
Oh wow,
I'm projected to beat everybody.
are you
Yeah.
good? I had some close games. I lost to my brother last week, but that's okay. Not mad about that. But we'll get into our league stuff a little later on. But yeah, this game, of course, the all-time record was the Bears. I think it was in the 40s, 1941, something like that. They beat the Cleveland Browns 73-0, and that is the all-time record of most points scored in a football game. And the Falcons came pretty close, 56. That's really not too far off. It would have been cool to see it be a blowout where Tampa Bay didn't score 2 touchdowns, but it was still pretty. It was a really one-sided game. It was kind of exciting at first, and then it got real boring. But that's how a lot of Thursday night games are.
Julio Jones too. Let's talk about Julio Jones.
Yeah, for sure.
9 receptions, 161 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I know. I mean, whoever has him in their league, they are probably going to win this week.
I was looking at DraftKings because I do DraftKings.com.
Okay.
Win a little money because I'm pretty good at what I do. And their top people had 4 Atlanta players on their team, and they did really well. Most of them had Matt Ryan. Most of them had Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I think some even had Bobby Rainey.
Yeah.
Which he didn't do too bad after the second line of defense came in the second half.
Well, how many yards did he have?
He had 41 yards, but he also had 7 receptions for 64 yards.
Okay, so that's
no touchdowns.
Yeah, so I mean, for losing 56-14, that's not bad at all for your running back.
He got 100 total yards, but he had a fumble, so it was around 8 points.
Okay, yeah, that's it's not too bad. I was just surprised at how one-sided it was. I mean, we know Tampa Bay is 0-2. But, well, now they're 0-3. But, I mean, the Falcons had such an awful year last year. Did anybody really expect them to be this good coming off to start the season?
I told you they were going to come in with a vengeance.
Right.
And so far, it's come true.
Yeah, I mean, it really has.
Every game's been close or them winning, decidedly. So,
yeah.
Fantasy drop alert, by the way.
Yeah, go for it.
If you have Devontae Freeman on your bench thinking, he's a pretty good handcuff, 11 carries, 12 yards. That's a 1.1 yard average. And
that's not a good average when your average should be 4 or 5 yards.
Yes, his long run was 6 yards. So drop alert on Devontae Freeman. If you have Devontae Freeman, you might want to drop him and pick up, a Terrence West.
Yeah, I've barely heard of this Devontae Freeman. I don't have him on my team.
Hey, he was a big handcuff. People are saying he's a big handcuff for the season because Steven Jackson, he's going to go down and get a hamstring injury like he usually does.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what to think of this game, but it was pretty crazy. That's for sure.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think it's kind of funny when they go to the sideline and show Lovie Smith's desperate face saying, somebody.
He was just staring off into space after one point.
God,
he's like, what did I get myself into? Why am I the head coach of the Buccaneers? Why why am I the head coach of Tampa Bay?
I'm never going to get a job announcing for ESPN because I'm the losiest coach.
Well, he wouldn't have that anyway. He's not one to be in the public spotlight, usually. So
Oh, he's no Tony Dungy, is that what
no, he's not a Tony Dungy or a Herm Edwards or whoever else. He's
Mike Ditka.
Yeah, Mike Ditka still he's still trudging along there. He's trying. Yeah, but that Thursday night game was pretty crazy, for sure.
Yep, you're listening to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Freeman with my co-host, Ryan Stuprich.
Yes.
And we're talking about Thursday night's game, Atlanta Falcons against Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We got to see who plays next week for Thursday Night Football, because sometimes there's good matchups. That's the thing with Thursday Night Football. Sometimes there's pretty good matchups, and sometimes there isn't. So, it's always interesting to see what the matchups are. Of course, last week it was the Steelers and Ravens, and the Ravens ended up winning that, holding Pittsburgh to 2 field goals, I think it was. So that's pretty odd too.
It's really not an interesting looking game at all, to tell you the truth. New York Giants at Washington, the Redskins.
That's a very unfortunate game.
Really, like you could skip that one.
They should move that to a Sunday game.
Unless you have some fantasy players on those teams, it's going to be a snoozer.
It seems like it probably will be, for sure, because I don't know about that. But yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break, and then we are going to come back and do more fantasy football talk, of course.
Yeah.
And, we will do that when we come back. But you're listening to Fantasy Fanatics here on SportsTownChicago.com. Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And yes, this is the song Tequila.
Tequila.
Good song.
This is Fantasy Fanatics.
Yes. And we are now going to go over some of the hot shots for fantasy, some people that you should definitely be starting this week. So, yes, the hot shots.
Fantasy Hot Shots.
Yeah.
So let's start off with some players that we think you should be starting, some of the hot shots in football for week 3.
Quarterback. Let's go over some quarterbacks.
Yes.
That I like. And I know I diss him all the time. But I'm going to play Jay Cutler this week if I have him.
Really? I have Jay Cutler on my bench.
Then you must play him.
But I also have Andrew Luck. I can't go past Andrew Luck.
Who's the defense playing against Andrew Luck?
Who are the Colts playing this week? The Colts are at Jacksonville, so that's why I have.
Yeah, that's a must play. Yes.
Yes, but
I concur.
In any other situation, but I do understand that Jay Cutler against the Jets, that is a good matchup for sure.
Yes, it is. The Jets are really good against the run, so you might want to think about not putting Forte out there.
Mm-hmm. I saw his projected total was only about 8 or 9 points. I don't really go off of the projections because they always are changing, but that was a question I was going to have for you and everybody else listening is, do I start Forte or do I not start Forte? Because he's the best running back I have, but
it really matters
I don't know
who your backup is.
Yeah, I have 4 running backs, and I'm going to be playing 2 of them and sitting 2.
I mean,
most likely.
if you have a Kyrie Robinson, Mark Ingram is injured, so Kyrie will be getting more looks.
Mm-hmm.
If you have Terrence West,
yeah,
which those I'm getting into sleepers now, but anyway,
the running backs I have on my team currently, I have Matt Forte, Chris Ivory, so I have the 2 playing against each other. So I thought that might be a cool thing to do. I also have C.J. Spiller, who hasn't done that bad for Buffalo. I mean, the Bills are 2-0,
pretty good,
and the other running back I have is Jock Bell on the Lions.
Joe Bell.
I think it's pronounced Jock. I'm not sure. There's I've heard 3 or 4 different pronunciations of it, so I don't know exactly what it is. I go with Jock Bell just because maybe he's French or something, but I don't know.
Jock Bell is actually someone I would play. He's only one team. His Green Bay is giving up a lot of rushing yards.
Yes, they are,
and they're susceptible to up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Bell's the Lions running back, even though Bush is called the number 1, but Bell is actually the number 1.
Yeah,
He
it's
gets
pretty
more
much
touches, and so I would go with Jokai Bell.
All right, so Bell I should put in, and then between Forte, Ivory, and CJ Spiller, who do you think I should be starting? I don't remember who the Bills are playing.